Very good.
And now we have.
You've been using that.
This comes and goes. I don't know what it is.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Let me just turn on the camera here. Okay, we're going to start any minute, so when we start the show, we're not going to be on our cameras or talking because we've got Doc on.
Yeah.
Can you turn that on for me?
Yeah,
It's
I
on
got
the
you on the
side
side.
here. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No sneezing, farting, or yelling, or fighting. Come on.
Just on the side there. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm just making
You
sure.
been busy?
Well, I've got time. You need me?
That's not a good sign.
Well, sure it is.
I don't have time for anything else.
Oh,
What'd you say?
isn't that time?
After I asked my bill once, she's got time. How come all the people put all them risque pictures of girls on my Facebook, but they never show up my house? Why is this?
You know,
Doc.
Doc, Facebook being hacked is something that I've been hearing a lot of recently.
Oh, that's why I got off at 3 or 4
I'm
years
hearing
ago.
a lot of what goes on out there that I am so naive over. I can't even believe it.
Well, my bank got hacked, my charge cards got hacked,
That stinks.
and I'm pretty careful about stuff.
Here we go, mister. You can hear Doc's ad. We do ads. I don't know if you talk a little bit about that. We put them around the segment so that the more they hear you, the better that it is. And when you're not here, they hear it as well. So, okay, I'm going to go live in the room, okay?
Gee, he didn't turn that around.
It is on. Oh, he didn't turn it around.
So I do it.
Yeah, just so I can see the.
He likes to see himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I can see what's going on.
yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I'm not going to get you, but
Okay.
Carol.
Who?
Welcome to the show, everyone. I say this almost every show, and I know I start off a lot with it because I love my show. But I love my show more than anything because of the information that people have and what they get here. And maybe it's you or someone that you know. That's what networking's all about. And you know what people tell me that they love about the show the most is the information that they're getting. My first guest has been on my show now over 16 years. He is my longest running guest on my show. I have with me Doc. He's the owner of Hypnotic One. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. Doc, you know what? You have helped so many people. You have been doing what you do for over 35 years, 39 years, I think it's even more than that, and for all over the world. And we're so lucky to have you here in Arizona. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself. What really makes you so different than any other person out there that says that they do hypnotherapy?
Well, I actually do it, and
That's
and
a
not
good
just
start.
There's a lot of people out there who get a weekend certificate that says they're a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist, and it's really kind of disheartening for me. Being in it so long, I went through 3 different schools and got probably almost 2,000 hours of training in it. Plus, I've worked at it, like you say, 39 to 40 years doing it professionally, and I was doing it before that. And I've worked with the 60,000 some people, and we got a 98% success rate. And the thing is, I do it a little bit different. I take and listen to the person, see what their problem really is, because when they come in, if it's a smoker or drug addict or whatever it is, they will, and I'll ask them what their problem is. They don't tell me their problem, they tell me the symptoms of it. And that's what they've been trying to get rid of. But the symptoms, when you get rid of the symptoms without getting rid of the underlying problem, will always come back. And that's what happens to them. So we find out the underlying problem, get rid of it, and all of a sudden the symptoms go away on their own.
Well, not only do you have a 98% success rate, the programs that you offer to people, they are customized to fit the person's needs.
Well, yeah, because everybody's different. If I had 100 smokers come in, I'm going to have 100 different programs. They'll all start out with the same CDs and the same booklet to get them to understand what we're going to be doing and moving them forward. But as soon as they step in my office after a week of listening to the Hypnotic CDs and going through the book, and the book is about 20 pages long, it depends on which one it is, and it's very easy reading. They read through it and they get an understanding of what their problem is. And that first session is about 90 minutes long. And I go over all of their book work that they've done. They've spent about 10 minutes a day for the first week of writing things down for me, so that when they come in, I can custom build a program for that person. Because like I say, if there's 100 different smokers, there's 100 different programs that I put together for them, because everybody's a little bit different.
Now, here's the other thing that people don't realize. When he says you go home and you get, you have some things to do. You do this in your sleep, folks. So you're doing this on your own.
Yeah, you don't read the book in your sleep, of course.
No.
But the thing is
But
you
you
listen
can get
to
them to do that probably.
Yeah. and you listen to the CDs and fall asleep. And one of the side effects of all my programs, you get better sleep. Because 30 minutes of hypnosis is like 3 hours of sleep. And everybody that comes into the office is hypnotized and is hypnotizable.
And you will not let them fail.
How can you fail if you got a coach and a trainer and a teammate working with you, showing you how to overcome your obstacles as you keep going along?
I'll tell you something, there's nothing like having Doc, because once you have him and you work with him, you have him for life. Explain that too.
Well, it has just happened a couple of weeks ago. I had a girl call me up, and it was I worked with her 15 years ago on something, and she calls me up. She says, "You remember me?" I said, "Of course." And she said, "I need a tune-up, but I want something else." So she comes in. I says, "What's something else?" I says, "Did it come back?" She says, "No, I've got something else in my life. I want you to help me change it." I said, "Okay, no problem." So
guess
I'm
what?
working with, and how much did it cost her? Nothing.
Nothing, because once you work with Doc, you have him for life. You can call him and leave a message and tell him what's going on. That's what it starts with your story and where you're at. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know.
Remember the girl that I brought in that was very shy? She was 19
yes.
years old, and she was getting ready to go to college, and her mom brought her in. And I asked her, I says, "How many friends do you have?" And she said, "None." And she was so shy that her mom thought that she was going to have a tough time in college, and she probably would have. Well, they asked me if I could help her, and I said, "Sure," because I knew what the problem was. We got rid of the problem, and I give her the suggestions that she's going to be talking to people, enjoy people, and
she comes on a radio show like, what, 2 weeks later?
Yeah, 2 weeks later, but she's already talked to 60-some people. And this girl the other day that called me from 15 years, she's got the same thing.
You're kidding.
No. So the thing is, it's unique that they come in at different times, and it's so easy to get them to overcome that. I tell you what, everybody needs some more self-confidence. Everybody needs a higher self-esteem. They need really self-discipline, because a lot of people get excited about the end result. They get excited about change, but all of a sudden they stop changing because they had an obstacle in front of them, and they quit and give up instead of going over the obstacle.
Well,
and that's what I do, is I train them how to go over the obstacle, and all of a sudden they feel great and fantastic and like a winner because they had an obstacle and they went over and they're successful.
We have said it many times. If you want to walk on water, you got to get out of the boat. The phone number to call him direct is 602-547-0446. You can leave a message and he'll call you back and tell you how he can help. His website is hypnotic1.com. I want to talk a little bit about also how we always have to do this, because unfortunately there are so many people out there who are addicted to something. It doesn't have to be just smoking. It could be food. Obviously there's drugs. But you do not ever take anything away from anyone. Listen up, and how he is so different. A lot of people out there, they keep on going back to those rehabs and spending tons and tons and tons of money. And you know what? You don't have to do that.
Remember Jay, the guy I brought in? He's 40 years old. He'd been through rehab for heroin 6 times. The longest he ever lasted was 6 days.
Wow.
Now, the rehab clinics are usually 30 days long, and the longest he lasted was 6 days. Well, that was about 5 years ago, and within a week, he was off the heroin, and he hasn't been on it since, and his business is flourishing. He is great. He's got a new child they just had about 6-8 months ago. So life is good for him.
And you know what? I met his dad.
I did too.
And his dad came in and he put his arms around you, because let me tell you something, when your child is addicted to something, let's say like heroin, which is heavy duty, and they've been on it for a long, long time, and now they're not, oh my God,
They're a whole new person.
Yeah.
Because when they get on these drugs and you think, oh, it's for the kids in their teens. No, this is for the teens and the people up in their adults. They can't really hold down a job, or they lose their business, or something else is going on, because you can't be a drug addict and do a good business. So what happens is we automatically start programming them to throw away their drugs. I never take it away from them. It's funny, and yet it's true that none of my clients have a withdrawal symptom, and I've worked with thousands of addicts. The thing is, I don't care if it's coke, meth, heroin, it doesn't matter. Even alcohol, even nicotine. There is no withdrawal symptom when they work with me.
His phone number is 602-547-0446. It's Hypnotic, the number 1.com. We're going to go to a break and come back and talk further.
Yeah. Smooth.
Just like you are.
Yeah.
So we are live on Facebook. So I want to keep on going and tell them how smooth it is when they work with you, because, you know, it's
I tell you what, it's so exhilarating for me watching people go through that transformation so easily and so quickly and come out. They come in with their face drawn, they come in stressed out, and in a week or so, they're happy, they're smiling. Life has turned around for them. When they first come in, a lot of the young people just want everybody to get off their back, because mom and dad's telling them to get off the drugs and do this and do that, and all they want to do is go and do their drugs, be with their buddies, leave me alone. But you can't run your life that way, because who's paying all your bills? Because mom and dad won't do it after a while. And what kind of a relationship could you ever have with somebody else if you're always messed up on drugs? So they have to have the initial say, you know what, I'm really done with it. And they have to come in and say, you know what, this does sound good. Maybe it sounds too good to be true, but let me listen to it, and maybe I'll prove him wrong.
I want to talk about that when we get back right on air. Is that okay?
Yeah. And I even tell them, try to prove me wrong. Do what I ask you to do, and you will get the results that I tell you. Yes.
Absolutely. And we know for a fact, I mean, look at the woman that came in, that was sitting here, had the studio, and that was a smoker for like 40 years, smoking how many, was it 4 or 5 packs a day,
Yeah.
and leaned over to me after you had done, and she said, Carol, I could use his card. And 2 days later, I think it was, maybe a week, I can't remember, very short amount of time, and she's crying, saying, thank you, I couldn't stop.
But see,
now she can.
I used to be a heavy smoker, 4-pack of non-filtered Camels a day, so I know what it is. I used to be a heavy drinker because I owned nightclubs, so I was always in them. I was all in bars. I go from one of my bars to the next, and I tell you what, somebody's always buying you a drink, and you're smoking. That's back to the time when you could smoke in them, so you always had a cigarette, and you didn't know how bad it was because you was in good health, because I was working out and training at the same time. But after a while, all of a sudden, he said, you know what, I was spending $1,400 a month on booze.
Wow.
I was spending that 4-pack of Camel now would be a lot, because it'd be about $50 a day.
Yeah.
So the thing is, oh, I'm so happy and glad that I threw it away. But every once in a while, it takes you looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, I need a change.
Yeah, that's what it gets to. You get sick and tired of
Being sick and tired,
Exactly.
and that's it. And a lot of times when mom and dad tell you, you don't listen to them. But you'll listen to your buddies. Huh. That's odd, because they don't know any more than you do.
We're talking with Doc. He's the owner of Hypnotic One. And at the break, we've been talking a little bit to Facebook land out there. And we've been talking a little bit about, first of all, one of the first things you just finished saying was, it's funny how people will, they won't listen to their family members, but they'll listen to a friend of theirs that says, or somebody different that says. But also, it's interesting when you were talking also about how when you work with them, how different it is than when anyone else tries to do something like this on their own.
Well, yeah, most let's just take alcohol or drugs. They'll go into a drug rehab, and the first thing they do is take the drug away from them. Well, then they have a withdrawal symptom, and they all expect that. None of my clients have a withdrawal symptom. I don't care if it's heroin. I don't care if it's alcohol. None of my clients, all the bugs crawling up the walls with alcohol. No, I have never had a person do that. I used to drink a fifth a day, and I said, that's it, and went through my own process and got free of it. Same way as smoking. I used to do 4-pack of non-filtered Camels a day, and I threw them away, and I went through the process. That's why my process is so much different than any other hypnotist out there, any other social worker, any other 12-step program. And the thing is because we go and find the underlying problem, we get the person to focus on having fun, pleasure, and excitement and taking control of their life instead of being controlled by people, places, things, or chemical or the past.
But also, it's about doing the work. Because if you do the work, and you come in there and you listen, it's about being open to it, obviously.
That's it.
And come in and take a listen and see what it is that he offers. And then it's so easy to do that. And then try it. Prove him wrong is what he says.
There's two, I want everybody to really listen to this. There's two reasons that people fail at anything. I don't care what it is. First, you don't know how. And second, you don't want it bad enough. Because if you want something bad enough, you'll find the how. And the how is usually outside of your thinking. It's outside of your box thinking. That's why people don't understand it. And my program, you don't have to understand it, but I explain it to them anyway. Because it's based on A, common sense, B, on good health, and not transferring you from one drug to the next one. Like they do in our clinics. They take you off of one drug and put you on methadone.
And you were talking about how when you say that, how many years ago did you smoke that like that?
Oh gosh, 39 years ago.
39 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and also, you said how much money would people be spending on cigarettes today if you smoked 4 packs of, let's say?
It's about $10 a pack. It's like a lady called me about 2 weeks ago. And I look at my caller ID, and she had called me 10 years ago, and she wanted to know about smoking. I says, okay. I says, this is what it is. And she says, by the way, you called me 10 years. No. I says, well, I know your name, and I give her name. She says, that is my name. I says, yeah. I says, if you'd have come in then,
just think how much money you would have saved.
You would have had $40,000 in the bank.
Wow.
She says, I says, when do you want to set up your appointment? You know what she said? Let me think about it.
Whoa.
Because certain people are so scared of change. Mm-hmm. They think it's going to be hard because that's what they've done to themselves in the past. That's what they saw their friends do. How many people knew about a withdrawal symptom that didn't see somebody else go through it first? And the thing is we don't do that. Imagine taking a candy bar away from a 4-year-old. Now, he's not having a withdrawal symptom. He's having a temper tantrum. Yeah. But you take a drug away from an addict, it's the same thing. He doesn't need the drug right then, but he starts to manifest it in his mind mentally. So it's a psychological addiction, not a physiological. And people will argue, and I says, okay, then just prove me wrong. And all of a sudden, they don't have any attachment, any draw to that chemical anymore. All of a sudden, their family life's getting better. Who doesn't want greater health, wealth, and happiness?
His phone number again, it's 602-547-0446. He has a 98% success rate, and once you talk to him, you're going to see why. These are customized programs to meet your needs. He will not let you fail. And the other thing, once you work with Doc, you have him forever because he gives you a lifetime warranty.
Lifetime warranty. Now, you tell me one doctor, one therapist, one attorney that gives you a lifetime warranty. None.
None.
And even my associates, other hypnotists around the valley, even around the world when I go see them, they always say, how can you do that? I said, for the simple reason my program works.
Exactly. And you know, a lot of people, you've been coming on for over 16 years, and a lot of people that are in the room, just hearing you, just in here, a lot of the guests that are here have also gone to you. And we were talking about one earlier that I just thought I would say it on air, because it's so cool when you get somebody who is so grateful to have made that change with you. The gal that was smoking those 4 packs a day for like 40 years, and that wasn't the one you were talking about, it was somebody else, but she called me in tears, thanking me to have had you on the air.
You know, it's not me, it's the person. Otherwise, every person has this inside of them, the ability to change. But they're so afraid of it, they lock that ability away and they don't use it. Well, we unlock it. We've got the keys to unlock that, and we put you in control. Otherwise, that client becomes in control of their life instead of me taking control. No, I put them in control, and I show them how easy it is. I show them how to overcome obstacles, because everybody that gets off heroin, meth, coke, alcohol, doesn't matter, will have an obstacle. They'll have a buddy that tries to get them back on it. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, no, thank you. And they'll feel great about it. Now, I have some alcoholics that come in, they don't want to quit. They just want to be able to drink 2 or 3 and stop after that. And they ask me, can you do that? I says, sure.
Well, you can even help people become better gamblers.
That's it.
That's another thing you've had.
But we reprogram this thing sitting on their shoulders called their mind. We reprogram it so that it automatically is in control and you control it. It's electrochemical organic computer sitting up there. Most everybody has a virus in their mind, that computer up there. We need to get that virus out, whether it's in relationships. Imagine the person that has the same crappy relationships year after year, but different people. Imagine why that is. And all of a sudden we train them how to take control. Not needing somebody else, but you know what, accepting other people in and being able to talk with them, because I have done a lot of counseling and most everybody's relationships goes down the toilet because they don't communicate. They're not trusting their own self to be able to be by themselves or tell the person what they really want.
You know, and I was just going to ask you, because we've been talking a lot about addictions, but there's so many other things that this works for. You know, whether you are a business person and want to be a better salesperson, you can help people with migraines, obviously. We can help them with weight. You can help them with so many different things that people don't even realize. Even memory, that's another thing that you can do. Self-discipline is really the bottom line of a lot of it, but you can help people with anger. Kids, how about people with nail biting? People, how about the kids that are doing bedwetting? I mean, there are just so many different things.
I just finished with a nail biter. He's from South Dakota that come and saw me, and his wife was with him. And I said, is there anything else that you'd like to get rid of? He says, well, I'd like to get in better health and better shape. I says, you know what? I feel real good. I'll work with you and your wife both on that, and I'll help you get rid of the nail biting. And sure enough, I told him, I says, here's the books. And I started him off on the way because it's simple. And I says, don't make any changes, don't diet, don't exercise. And when they come in the next week, he was down 6 pounds, she was down 8 pounds, and I told him not to make any changes. And now he told me the other day, he says, I don't need to work on the weight anymore, really, and I don't need to work on the nail biting. He says, look at my nails, they're growing. And he's 60-some years old, because we usually think of nail biters as kids or young people.
Well, we do, but it could be a habit that you have throughout your life.
And the thing is, it was kind of funny. He's moving out here now, but the thing, he wanted to take a test to be a realtor out here, and it was really funny. I says, you're not going to ever take another test in your life. He said, well, I got to take the test to pass it. So I says, no, it's not a test. It's a sharing of, they give you information. And you take the information in, you store it, you understand it, then they're going to say a test, but no, it's only a sharing of information you give back to them. I've been working with students in the college and everything else, and they think that's great, because whenever you say to somebody, we're going to take a test, whoa, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up.
It's true.
But it's just a sharing of information. So it's perception that we change with a person. Remember, Everybody's got the power to do it.
And you have the key.
And we have the key, and we show you how to do it. And if you come to me for stop smoking, you might find yourself automatically taking off a few pounds. You might automatically find yourself in better relationships. You might find yourself automatically taking control of your life in every other area.
That phone number again to call them, it's 602-547-0446. Once you work with them, you have them for life.
What's the name of that? Hypnotic1, the number 1.com. Go to it and see what I do.
Great ending.
If I wasn't so shy, I'd tell you what, I could get it out better.
Let me just turn this off. This is what we call a hard break. So we have a little bit of time before you're on. A few more minutes.